the students stopped coming. She had no savings and wasn't interested in getting an ordinary job. She wanted fame and fortune. She just didn't know how to get it. One evening, she was reading a newspaper article about all the tourists flocking to see Niagara Falls. She decided to show them something far more exciting than waterfalls, something never seen before. The first person to go over the falls in a barrel. An ordinary pickle barrel wouldn't do, so Annie designed one herself. It was made of white oak and reinforced with iron bands. A blacksmith's anvil was set in the bottom to keep the barrel upright. She would grip metal handles and be secured with leather straps. Annie was ready to take the plunge, but wanted to make sure people were there to watch. For weeks, newspapers and posters advertised the fearless Mrs. Taylor and her daring, death-defying stunt. On October 24th, 1901, on her 63rd birthday, Annie rode to the falls in a carriage. Thousands had come out to witness the spectacle. She strapped herself in and crammed pillows all around her. The barrel was sealed and fastened with screws. People gasped as the barrel tumbled and tossed its way closer to the edge. The roaring of the falls drowned out the excited and terrified roaring of the crowd as Annie went over and down. At first, nothing could be seen in the swirling water. Then, Annie's barrel bobbed to the surface. It floated to the shore, and workmen frantically sawed off the top of the barrel. Annie slowly crawled out. She was bruised and battered, but alive. The first thing she said was, "I prayed every second I was in the barrel, except for a few seconds after the fall when I was unconscious." Annie may not have made the fortune she'd hoped for, but she loved sharing her story. She set up a souvenir stand near Niagara Falls and sold postcards and booklets about her life. The Queen of the Falls will go down in history as one fearless and perhaps a bit reckless daredevil. Annie Edson Taylor. Bessie Coleman, ace aviator. Bessie Coleman was born in a tiny cabin in Texas, but even as a child, she had big dreams. She picked cotton and helped wash and iron clothes, but she also attended school and excelled at math. When Bessie was 11 years old, something happened that caught her attention and changed her life. The Wright brothers flew their first plane. She read everything she could find about airplanes, dreaming about the day she would soar through the sky. As a young woman, Bessie moved to Chicago, where her older brothers lived. She worked as a manicurist and saved money for flying lessons. She applied to flight school and was rejected. She kept applying, and she kept getting rejected for the same two reasons. She was a woman, and she was African American. Bessie refused to give up, so when she learned that women were being taught to fly in France, she knew what she had to do. She worked harder to save money and took classes to learn French. Bessie sailed to Europe, and soon she was finally taking flying lessons. Even though she had to walk several miles each day to school and she witnessed fatal crashes, her desire to fly never wavered. Bessie even managed to graduate from the 10-month course in 7 months. In 1921, she became the first African-American woman to earn an international pilot's license. When she returned to the States, parades were held in her honor. Newspaper articles were written about her. She was a celebrity without a job. There were no aviation jobs for a woman. She returned to Europe and studied air acrobatics. Bessie returned to the States again, this time as a stunt pilot. She amazed thousands of spectators at her shows, doing loop-de-loops, figure eights, and barrel rolls. The press nicknamed her Queen Bess and wrote about her breathtaking stunts. In 1925, the show didn't go as planned. She had a serious crash and broke several bones. But instead of being upset about her physical injuries, she was sad that she had disappointed the fans who had bought tickets to see her fly. A year later, she was